that, you can decide for yourself what comes next. We'll be waiting.
So like every other game in this series, the game actually takes place in the present day, and you are reliving the memories of someone else. It gets a little bit confusing, but it really doesn't matter. The present day stuff doesn't really come into play very often. Gives us a couple of cool sequences to run through, and they're worth seeing, and I'll show them to you. We'll get there eventually. The important stuff is the important actual story of the game is going to take place during the French Revolution.
Arno.
Can't I go with you, Father?
Courage, my boy. You wait just here. I will return when this hand reaches the top.
That's forever.
Not as long as all that. And when I get back, we'll see the fireworks. And Arno, no exploring, hmm?
Yes, Father.
Right, as though that's going to work. Alright, so we have a database entry. Some of these I actually will be going through with you guys. The ones that actually have something interesting to say. This database entry is the Palais du Versailles. Originally a hunting lodge built for Louis and I believe that's the 13th? Yeah, 13th. The Palace of Versailles was expanded into one of the largest palaces in the world under the seat of the French monarchy under the reign of the successor Louis XIV. The royal family abandoned the Paris for the Tuileries in Paris at the outset of the French Revolution. At the king's arrest, Versailles, along with all royal possessions, were confiscated and sealed. Furnishings were sold at auction in 1793, and in 1794 it was turned into a museum. They got rid of everything in it and turned it into a museum. What are people supposed to look at? A small sign saying a fancy chair used to be. Despite various restorations, empires, and revolutions that followed, Versailles would never again be a center of political power. Okay, that wasn't an interesting one, but I want to show you a couple that are. This is our encyclopedia. This is where all our databases are going to be kept. I'm going to read the important ones to you. Starting with Esquire de Florac. A co-prior of the convent of Montfaucon, Esquire had been imprisoned at the same time as a renegade Templar. Esquire and the unnamed Templar confided in each other, whereupon the Templar allegedly revealed a great many vices and misdeeds within the order. Upon the strength of this evidence, the order of the Poor Knights of the Temple of Solomon, the Knights Templar, were rounded up and destroyed. This is the traitor that broke into the town and stabbed the guy at the beginning of the game. We will hear about this guy on an infrequent basis, only in very subtle references throughout the game. Other than that, he's totally unimportant. This guy, however, is crucially important, although we won't find out why until much, much later. Jacques de Molay was born between 1245 and 1250. He was no doubt born in Molay, Haute-Saône. He was received into the Order of the Templars in 1265. After the fall of Acre, a general chapter meeting of the order met at Cyprus in September 1291. He was elected Grand Master on April 20th, 1292, and led the Templars to the height of power. Under his influence, the course of European history would change for the better. In 1307, Philip IV of France and Pope Clement V concocted a scheme to destroy the Templar Order. King Philip, deep in debt to the order, drummed up largely unsubstantiated charges of heresy and blasphemy against de Molay and his followers. On October 13th, coordinated raids ended with the arrest of nearly every Templar in France. On May 2nd, 1312, the Pope officially dissolved the order and gifted all of its assets to the Knights Hospitaliers. In March of 1314, Jacques de Molay was burned at the stake. With him died one of the greatest civilizing forces of Western Europe. In 2001, researchers at the Vatican Secret Archives uncovered a document written in 1308 by Pope Clement which absolved Jacques de Molay of all charges. How the parchment was lost remains a mystery, though I think we can agree it was itself. So hopefully you guys had some time to read that, because I was reading it out loud, but apparently my microphone was muted. I will be making a very conscious effort not to do that in the future. No, this one's not. But yes, I will be taking a moment to read the database entries to you guys, the ones that are interesting.
Come on.
This is the first time that we're actually in control of the main character of the game, Arno Victorian. And right now, our objective is simple. Follow.
Garde, attrapez-les!
Don't even think about moving.
Quickly, quickly. Allez.
This part of the game is simply teaching us some very simple mechanics.
Bet you can't steal one.
Thief! Put that back!
At this point, it's going to teach us how to use stealth. This is going to be crucial, because if you want to not suck at this game, you need to be stealthy. This part right here could not be easier.
What the hell's going
We're
on?
going to run around this corner. When we do so, the guard is going to lose sight of us, and it's going to leave a little ghost in our last known location. The guards will basically follow you up to that point. They will always stop at your last known location. They will not go forward. Even if there is a very obvious hiding place right next to it, the guards will not continue. As soon as the guard turns around, we can run for the door. He may very well spot us, but it doesn't matter once we're inside.
Hurry.
We're fine.
Did you see their faces when we stole those apples?
I'm Arno.
Elise.
I'm here with my father.
So am I. He has important business with the king.
What shall we do now?
Shh. Listen. Don't worry, they'll never think to look for us in here.
It was my fault. I'm the one who took the apple.
Let's see where they're going.
As I said, this video is going to be a lot longer because there's quite a bit of plot exposition.
I sincerely hope this unfortunate affair does not darken your opinion of our nation.
Monsieur, if we judged nations by the character of the
Elise.
criminals,
Father?
we should all be called barbarians.
Come here, girl. Now.
If you have the subtitles turned on, you can actually tell that one of the guys that is speaking right there in the background is Benjamin Franklin. At this point in history, he was actually an ambassador to the United States in France. Nice little tidbit there. So our father died because this is a video game, and that's what happens to children with parents in video games. Now, the dialogue that's coming up here, I absolutely love. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but it's absolutely.
Can't win fairly at cards, so you stoop to thieving, you bastard!
Calm down, Victor. I've only come for my watch.
It's my watch. I want it fairly.
Well, in a just world, Victor, I would agree with you, but this is not a just world. This is France.
You're a dead man.
Oh, step lightly there. You'll hurt yourself. I just had a nice chat with your brother.
You go. Fetch the marshals.
Hold on a minute. Diable.
I've got it, Victor.
Okay, so here we have our first secondary objective. It's very easy. It says we want to pass over and under obstacles. To do that, we run straight for them and hold down circle. We need to do this 5 times. It's actually quite easy. As you can see, I'm about finished here.
Move it! Gentlemen, please, we can come to an understanding.
Now, eventually we actually run out of things that we can jump over or around or
Excuse him,
through.
he's not housebroken.
But not for a while. If we get to this point and we've nearly caught up with this guy, then we just simply need to pick something at random and hop around. Tackle him, and that's it.
Thick-headed blacksmith like you probably can't even read or watch.
Come over here and say that.
No.
Get back here.
And now we need to disappear. At this point, there are actually guards chasing us, so yeah, we need to... The easiest way to do this is to duck in this window, which causes them to lose track of you. Or is supposed to cause them to lose track of you. That didn't. It's okay, we'll just have to run a little more. The important thing when you're trying to lose guards is to constantly change directions. Is to change directions often and just keep moving. The reason that you want to change directions often is because what you're trying to do is to break their line of sight. It does not matter how far away you are, because your goal is not to create distance, your goal is to break their line of sight and disappear. Obviously, I'm headed right back in the exact direction that I just came from. There you go.
Ton serment, tu me fatigues. Débrouille-toi avec François. Je me suis pas engagé au...
We're anonymous now, so we can run around and cause all kinds of trouble if we feel the need, but I'm just going to head straight for the objective. Actually, I'm going to take a brief detour here, since I'm right here anyway. It is crucially important that we collect all of, these are called synchronization points. Anytime you see this eagle on your map right here, this is a place where you can climb up and it will add things to your map. Now, there is a simple reason that this is crucial. Adding these synchronization points, sorry guys, I can't seem to talk today, to your map, gives you fast travel points, and Paris is huge. If you've read any of the press about this game, Paris has been recreated at a full 1-to-1 ratio. That means the city is as large as it is in real life, or at least as large as it was at this particular point in history. So it is crucially important that we synchronize points as much as we possibly can, because those fast travel points are going to be indispensable unless we want to spend the majority of our game simply running from one place. And I don't. Although there is an advantage to doing that, and I'll tell you guys about that later. But this is a station point. certainly didn't have to do that, but there wasn't a compelling reason not to.
Monsieur.
Now, this object here that we see in our mini-map, that is a newspaper. Newspapers don't do anything, really, is it? Newspapers don't do anything, but one thing that's interesting is that they are actually taken from actual news articles at the time that this came to. And sometimes they give you a little bit of backstory about what's going on, or a gentle reminder of what's happening in the plot. Mostly they're just interesting.
Pourquoi vous ne vous servez?
Vous entrez comme ça chez les gens?
I'm not going to bother reading all of these to you guys, but I just wanted to show you guys what it is. This is an expert walkthrough, so I didn't want you guys, every time I go past a newspaper, to have you guys going, "What is it?" It's a newspaper.
And where in God's name have you been? Ha! Got you now, you little shit!
Just a little misunderstanding, nothing to...
Your master's harboring a common criminal. In broad daylight, he broke into my home and stole my watch.
Did he indeed? Well, I'm sure the Marshalsea would be more than willing to sort this out.
Sort what out, Olivier?
A most serious accusation against your ward, sir.
He robbed me.
Of what, precisely? Wait for me in my library.
Don't give me that look. Victor cheats when he plays Pharaoh. Everyone knows it.
Arno? Who are you talking to?
No one, monsieur.
You'll be happy to learn I persuaded Olivier to leave off calling the Marshalsea. Again.
Je vous remercie, monsieur.
What is this? The 6th time? The 7th? Perhaps a new hobby might be better for your health.
Well, I find playing cards affords many opportunities for fresh air and exercise.
We'll talk about this later. I have business in town and must collect Elise before I can attend to it.
Elise is here?
Only for the night. She returns to Paris first thing tomorrow.
She'll need an escort, won't she, with you so preoccupied?
One of you running amok is quite enough. Remain here and see if Olivier has any chores for you.
I'm sure he does.
What was that?
Give my regards to Elise.
Alright, that is one memory down. Both optional objectives complete. About 30 more to go, so not really that big a deal, I guess, when you look at it that way, but whatever. This is the palace in Versailles, home of Francois de Versailles, who is the Grand Master of the Templar Order, but we don't know that yet. We will, though. And I am going to cut the video here. That was our first mission. Like I said, this video is going to be pretty long. It was almost an hour. There's quite a bit of plot exposition in the first couple of missions. Second video is going to be a little bit long as well. But after that, things are going to cool down. Once again, I want to thank everybody for watching. And like, subscribe, and comment to show your support. This is Mr. Nice Guy, a.k.a. I Am Not Jack, a.k.a. the legendary Flying Failure. Peace out, guys.